r/AskReddit. What is the strangest habit you have? Wake up few minutes before my first alarm rings. Disable all alarms. Wake up late and be late for everything. You're not alone. I'm here with you. Terrible habit of biting the inside of my cheeks. Edit. Wow. Never thought so many people would relate. Now I don't feel so alone and strange. Read this whilst chewing the inside of my cheeks. Edit. Thanks for the uptoots. I'm guessing a lot of people are anxious. Hence everyone chewing their own face off. Same, I always wonder if cheeks provide any type of nutritional value. When I stop at the traffic light with my foot on the brake, I can't rest my knee against the door because it's too far away to be comfortable. So I use my hand in a fist to bridge the gap. My guess is either the car is right-hand drive or this mad lad brakes using his left foot. But I believe the brake pedal is still on the left in British cars. So how would they have their left leg resting against the door on their right? Edit. It would actually be their right leg on the brake. Assuming they don't use 2 feet to drive. So that does make more sense. Randomly singing nonsense when alone. When I'm alone with the dog, cat or kids, I sing their song to them. I always make up a song for everyone, and it includes something about them, and usually their name. It's adorable to watch a toddler dance and sing their song with me. Even the dog likes their song. Smelly cat. Smelly cat. What are they feeding you? I have a bad habit of observing. But on the outside, it seems like I'm staring. I've been called out by friends and family a few times. The worst is when I accidentally do it to strangers. I do this too. Avid people watcher. Sometimes I forget people can see me too. Either I'm people watching or I'm phased out and my eyes kinda drifted towards someone. On the train I watch people in the reflections in the window. That way they usually don't notice. I go for 6 months gaining 20 pounds and then the next 6 months trying to lose those same 20 pounds. Vicious cycle. Pre-edit. A lot of people calling BS on my comment. Some even doing decent research. Seems that a large amount of science is showing the following to be false. I do know it is still an ongoing area of research, as any quality findings would involve tracking many people over their lifetimes. You're only reducing the size of your fat cells, not eliminating them. That's why it's so easy to gain the weight back. Your body is ready to gain weight. If you can keep the weight off for 2-3 years, your body will eliminate the fat cells it doesn't need and will help you keep the weight off. It's that easy. /s. Edit. For those asking for source, I don't have one ATM. A recurring piece of advice I've heard. Worst comes to worse, I might dupe you into keeping your weight off for more than 2 years. Oops. I'm just a glutton. Then my pants barely fit and I eat responsibly. I refuse to buy bigger pants. After I walk away from a conversation, I repeat the idiotic thing that I said in the conversation to myself over and over again. Finding myself more stupid with every thought cycle. Can relate so hard. Sometimes I have random thoughts about bad outcomes. At those moments I have to stretch my hands into outer space and exhale air sharply, imagining that I remove those things from my system. That sure is strange. It's interesting though. Does it help very much? Original poster. It's something of a self-made superstition. Going back all the way to my early youth, where I'd imagine superpowers and such. It kind of helps me to feel that I fight against bad things in life and don't just ignore them, I guess. I type long Reddit replies that take several minutes. Then I delete it without posting. Was this post any trouble? When I turn off the shower, I use my hands like wiper blades to squeegee off the water. According to my wife, there is a very specific pattern of what hand goes where and when. It's something I'm not capable of not doing. Every time I think to myself, let's just get out of the shower and use a towel, I step out of the shower and squeegee myself off. Several times, though. I've been doing it in the communal shower in the gym. And some other dude is like, that is so efficient. Edit. Normally I squeegee myself inside the shower. Only when I think I'm not going to do it do I get out first and then find myself squeegeeing anyway. And yes, that makes a mess. Sorry for the ambiguity. Wait. Do you do it after getting out of the shower? I started doing it before I got out, so I wouldn't drip all over the bath mat/floor. Same here. But I also dry off in the shower and dry my feet off as I step out. I talk in my sleep, but only on those pre-waking alpha wave stages. I'll wake up mid-sentence with no idea what I'm talking about. Happens 6-10 times per year. I speak in my sleep too, but the funny part is my sleep schedule is messed, and I wake up like 3 in the afternoon, so when I sleep talk my family usually responds to me, and I wake, having no clue why my family is laughing. They say I ask for extra ketchup in the sleep and most of the times things related to food. My first girlfriend told me I talked in my sleep. Apparently I almost wake up and can have a full conversation, yet wake up with no memory of it. It asked me what I got her for Christmas and where I hid it. I use my car's turn signals before I turn or change lanes so that other drivers are aware of my intentions. Pure insanity. I'm constantly popping my jaw by moving it front to back or side to side. I used to constantly crack my neck until it became a habit. Then I went through the addiction acceptance stage. Then one day I woke up and decided that I would never crack my neck again. And now I tell strangers on Reddit about me overcoming my neck breaking addiction. Congrats. Recovering crack addict. I pull the covers over my head and lift my knees up and make a tent when I'm in bed. To keep out the monsters. I imagine. Smart move. To keep the ring safe. I talk to myself. But like a lot. Like seriously, I talk to myself all the time and often have full-on conversations and debates with myself. Which is funny, because ordinarily I'm very quiet around other people and the juxtaposition between being quiet in company and a complete chatterbox in private is quite peculiar to say the least. Got me too. I think people don't understand the amount I do it when I mention it. I have full-on, hour-long conversations with both myself or other people daily. I know I'm not talking to anyone, and I'm just pretending it's directed at them, but I can get pretty caught up in them anyways. I like to think it helps me work out my thoughts and feelings. In reality it's probably just really weird. I would say it definitely helps work out thoughts and feelings. I don't let myself talk out loud, because I'm rarely 100% alone. But when I have a lot on my mind, I'm in the habit of writing about it, and it helps. I would imagine talking to yourself has the same effect. I have just a tad too much energy in my body. And what this results in is, for one, staying still for any reason is annoying. That is, I constantly readjust myself in chairs. And sleeping is a nightmare. And for two, the habit that answers the question. I like to basically wildly flail my hands to burn off a bit of that energy. Plus I guess the way it makes my joints or bones, or whatever feel, is also kinda nice. Sadly it looks utterly idiotic. So I can only do it when no one's looking. Right there with you. I can barely sit and watch a movie without getting up several times, which drives my wife crazy. The sleep issues come along with it. I find that if I focus on a story and make one up while trying to fall asleep, it works pretty well. If I think about anything IRL related, my brain will spin for hours. I find that if I focus on a story and make one up while trying to fall asleep, it works pretty well. If I think about anything IRL related, my brain will spin for hours. Holy hell. This is what I do. 2. If I think about real life stuff too much, I stay awake for 2-3 hours. It was a big problem when I was in college. I figured out too late that playing a video, like in YouTube, helps me fall asleep. Or I make up a story, like adventuring D&D/RPG game style, and it eventually makes me sleepy in less than an hour. Pacing, when I'm too anxious, restless, overthinking or need to think, list goes on. I pace, sometimes for hours. When I have racing thoughts, I watch a specific episode of Doctor Who and say all the lines with the actors. I have probably seen it about 75 times at this point, but it completely calms me down. My husband thinks I'm nuts, but he can blow it out his time vortex. I don't know why this thing is not wanting to let me edit today. It's the time of angels. You can't post this without telling us what episode, right? I know how some people feel about Doctor Who, but seriously. Two of my favorite TV episodes of all time stem from the series. A good man goes to war, and then the angels take Manhattan. The reveal and the feels, as it were. I can't even describe it. Sometimes when I'm alone, especially when getting cozy and getting warm, I contort my face, tense up, release the tension in spurts of exhalation that sometimes resemble laughter or cackling. My hands sometimes get in on the game by clawing up or slapping a surface. Once it's all out, I can sink into relaxation. Like I said, it's hard to describe. Edit. I'm so glad to hear I'm not the only one who does this. And you guys have helped me find better words to describe it. It really feels like a build-up of energy and feeling that builds pressure. And the tension and release feels like a valve that releases the pressure in a controlled way until it's gone and I'm relaxed. Ha ha ha. I do this too. It's so odd. I imagine I'll look like I'm having a stroke. When excited, I just have to whack something around me. Usually it's me slapping my legs or hitting my table next to me and then clapping like a seal. Ends up hurting the hands, lol. When I get excited, I have to whack something too. Deg. Anybody ever get the jerk off shivers? Like sometimes if it's cold I'll start shaking before I beat off. The bathroom in my parents' house had a red heat lamp. It really warded away the beat off chills. There are times in the day when I feel like a jolt of electricity has gone through my body and I physically show as I had just received an electric shock. Feel this sometimes too. When I realize something good. Maybe we are actually machines in human skin. Well, my ex would agree to that statement. If there is a movie or show that I like, then I'll watch it constantly. I'll have it playing on the computer or TV all day, even if I'm not paying attention to it. Sometimes I'll replay my favorite scenes over and over again. Figured that I would get out of that phase when I was a kid. Brooklyn Nine-Nine or How I Met Your Mother for TV series. Constantly rewatching both. Forgetting Sarah Marshall and Crazy Stupid Love for films I watch constantly. And yes, I rewind back to watch scenes I still find hilarious. I'm constantly imagining doing awful things. My girlfriend comes home and my brain decides to show me in full HD how it would play out if I just leapt up and beat the hit out of her. I get my pet rats out to play. My brain decides I need to see what would happen if I poured boiling water on them. I hate it so much. I know I'm not actually doing the things, but it doesn't stop me from feeling disgusting. Sounds like intrusive thoughts. You could see someone about that if it's bothering you. Everyone has them occasionally, but for some people it reaches a whole other level. I eat my candy bars in layers, especially Snickers, chocolate, nougat, caramel. It's disgusting but delicious. My favorite bar to do it to are Kit Kats. It just feels so satisfying to slide the layers out. I also like eating my Oreos in layers. Cookie order. Yes. I do this with Kit Kats too. Eat all of the chocolate surrounding it first. Then peel each layer and eat one by one. So much more satisfying when you prolong it. Standing with my right foot flat on the inside of my left knee. A bit like a flamingo. Usually when I'm in the kitchen. Cooking. My mother and daughter also do it. 3 generations of human flamingos. Amazing. I almost fell over when I saw my daughter doing it. Completely organically. Ducking, like and subscribe.